Yeah, I'm just really proud of our group, for continuing to fight. Obviously we didn't play well there in the first half, and Creighton had a lot to do with it. They got a really good team. They're really well coached. I mean, Coach McDermott does a tremendous job, and they got a really nice team. But I wrote up on the board at the halftime. It's what we talk about every game, whether we're up, whether we're down. The most overrated thing in sports is the halftime score. Nobody remembers, if you were winning at halftime. That's why you play 40 minutes. I thought the other word I put up on there was swagger. Like we had to sometimes listen. You just got to see one drop, and then it can open up the floodgates. And we have not shot the ball well for the last 4 games. But Jack got us off to obviously a tremendous start there in the second half, and I thought it caught on like wildfire. We were able to kind of pick on Ryan Kalkbrenner. Playing 2 bigs was really good for us with Zach and Jack. Because whoever he was on, we wanted to invert our offense and put that guy out on the perimeter and pick and pop. Then we try to pick on the other guy and really try to post that other player. I thought that was really working in the second half, gave us a great rhythm, a great way to play, and created a lot of wide open shots for us. And then, Paul Scruggs, man, he was. I thought he really controlled the tempo in the second half. I don't think we ever played too fast. We played at our own pace, got the ball where we wanted to get the ball. We knew what the mismatch was, and he was really good at pick and rolls and pick and pops, and he ended up with 8 assists, 0 turns, 18 points. So, and obviously it's good to see Nate Johnson make some shots. And I've said this before, he's the best shooter in the country. And sometimes if you've ever, again, at the highest level athletes, whether you're, Johnny Bench with the Cincinnati Reds as a hitter, whether you're Steph Curry in the NBA, where he's one of the best shooters, obviously, of all time, everybody goes through slumps. And you have to embrace those valleys, and you got to work your way out of them. You got to take it head on, and Nate has. And listen, he's the best shooter in the country, and I think those numbers will bear themselves out over time. And obviously, it showed through tonight. So really proud of him. But great fight by our guys. We obviously got to continue to put 40 minutes together. But I felt like for the first time, man, I felt like our group believed. They had that confidence. They had that swagger, which was really, really good to see in the second half.
First question, Adam.
Travis, I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi cut out a little bit. You said you wrote swagger on the halftime board, and then what other thing?
Yeah, the most overrated thing is the halftime score, and then we talked about swagger, and because it's the most powerful drug in the world, right? Confidence is, and it's amazing what can happen when guys start believing. You see one go in, all of a sudden that rim feels like it's huge, right? Feels like that you can make anything, and just proud of our group, man, for continuing to fight, continue to believe, and but that's what we do as Xavier. We're going to play hard for 40 minutes, regardless of the score, regardless of the circumstances.
Rick Boring.
Travis, you were talking about inverting your offense there in the second half. Was it kind of interesting? Because I think last game we talked about the first half, you tried to stretch Kalkbrenner away from the basket. It didn't work as well. You had to ground him in the second half by ducking in and playing behind him. And then this game, it seemed to be the exact opposite. That didn't work in the first half. And the second half, you had to stretch him out and use your big guys away from the basket. Was that kind of interesting to see it flip-flop like that?
It is. Game 1, half number 2, we grounded him a lot more. And we tried to do that in the first half. Did not work nearly as well. And then we went into the second half. We said, screw that. We're going to try to get him out on the floor, try to get him away from the rim. And like I said, we found a really, really good rhythm. And having Jack and Zach both out there, I mean, they're so interchangeable, Rick, and it makes us really, really hard to guard. And it's like, man, what are you going to do? You're going to switch them? Are you going to hedge? And then how are you going to guard the other guy? You can guard him with a smaller guy, then we're going to post him. And I thought our players, Colby, Nate, Paul, did a great job of playing off of that, understanding what the mismatch was. And then we just stayed with it the whole half, and it worked really well.
Adam?
Travis, did you rode your second half lineup for a really long time, and obviously I understand why they got off to a great start. Was there any kind of inkling in your head, hey, maybe I need to give these guys a break, or how did you sort of process that in the moment of keeping those guys out there as long as you did?
Yeah, we were on such a big run, Adam. We just let it roll. Zach finally asked to come out. He was gassed. I didn't really want to take him out. He's playing well, but we wanted to ride with the hot lineup. And listen, our guys off the bench were awesome. Jerome, Dewan, AK, our whole bench, Ben Stanley, Cesar, everybody was into the game. Deontay, they were positive. They were great teammates, even though maybe they weren't on the floor, right? And obviously Jack got in foul trouble there in the second half. He picked up 4 fouls, and we had to take him out. But yeah, we just kind of stuck with the same lineup there because it was working so well, and I thought we found a really good rhythm.
Adam?
Yeah, we talked about halftime, and I was curious, did anyone or anything in your locker room at halftime lead you to believe that your team might put a second half together and get you back in the game like that? Like, were there any kind of signs or symbols that you saw?
Yeah, I think we were positive. I think our guys believed. You can just tell in their eyes. And listen, we've been down before, unfortunately. It's been a trend here the last few games, but we fight our way back. Our guys do. We don't have any guys that are going to just quit in there. We're going to play hard for 40 minutes. And I think anytime we have the player leadership with a guy like Scruggs, man, who's been through all the wars he's been through in college basketball, you hear his voice before as I was walking into the locker room. He's just a calming influence on our guys. And like I said, man, just really proud of our guys.
Rick?
Travis, have you ever been around another team that's gone through a stretch of games like this where, regardless of what the execution is like or the quality of the shots is like, you're getting enough to where some of them should go in? It just seems like none of them will go in the first half of games. And in the second half of this one, it seemed like everything was going. It's just a weird thing to watch with this team right now.
Rick, you're right. I mean, listen, I wish I could just bottle up that second half, right? And we could have it for the rest of the year. We got to be able to put 40 minutes together, in this league in order to be successful. I mean, there's too good of teams, and especially when you're playing on the road like we were here today. But again, I am proud of our guys. Our guys never quit. Listen, we played hard in the first half. Like even the last play of the first half, Paul makes a great play on the ball. He strips Nimhard. He tries to save it, and then all of a sudden it's a loose ball, scrum, could have easily went our way, then all of a sudden it's a layup for them. And it's like, gosh darn, is anything going to go our ways? Our guys never hung their heads. Never did. And I give our guys a lot of credit on that, but we do have to figure out moving forward, and I keep on saying it, we got to be able to put 40 minutes together.
Adam?
In terms of that first half, was there anything that you noticed offensively? Like, was it a lack of ball movement? Was your ball not moving the way that you like? Or the shots, is there anything that you can pinpoint? I know you probably have to watch film, but what stood out about that first half to you?
I think we got to play, Adam, I think we got 2 really, really hard mismatch guys in Zach and Jack. They're unique. I mean, they are. I mean, just with their skill set and their size. I think we got to continue to utilize those guys even more. Pick and pops, post ups, which guys got a certain guy on them. Because I think it opens up a lot of things for the other guys on the team. And I think we controlled the tempo in the second half a little bit better. We have to control the tempo, I think, a little bit better in the first half. Those would be my thoughts without watching film. But obviously, we'll be dissecting that film very closely here on the flight home.
And that's the first half is when your guys are away from your bench. Is that it's harder to run set plays in that?
It is. I think it's always easier, obviously, when you're going towards your bench. It's easier for me to control it a little bit more. But we got to figure out that first half piece. And I think if our guys have an understanding exactly where we want the ball and how are we attacking this team specifically, I think we can have a lot of success. So I got to be better in making sure that it's very, very crystal clear on what we're trying to do.
What was the vibe like in there when you're down 17? What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, I just feel like every time we come into the locker room, Coach Steele just tells us that halftime is the most overrated score in sports, and we were getting some open shots in the first half. They weren't falling, but Coach was just on us, telling us to have confidence, play with some swagger out there, and that's what we did.
Go ahead, Adam.
And how important was it to make a few shots early on in that second half and sort of see the ball go through the hoop? Because it felt like once you guys got rolling there in that second half, it was hard to stop you.
We just played as a team, you know. We stuck together through adversity, and that's what we're known for. And we have a good group of guys that want to play hard and together, and yeah, that's what we did. Just kept playing together, playing with some swagger, and just playing the best that we can.
Next question, Rick.
For both of you guys, does it surprise you guys sometimes why this team will go through a stretch like you went through in the first half there, where it just seems like nobody can get the ball to go in the basket for an extended period like that?
Yeah, we just we all have the ultimate confidence in each other. You know, we worked a lot on ball movement the past couple of days, taking the open shot. Just the open man is the best man to shoot the ball, and we did that in the first half, and I think we did it throughout the whole game, and we knocked them down in the second half, the open shots.
Adam.
Why? How hard was it to stay with it in this game? Obviously, you've lost 2 in a row, and the theme, as Rick just mentioned, getting down early in games, you're down 17 at half. How hard was it to stick with it? Why were you guys able to keep your spirits up and not fold when this game got out of hand early?
Really just positivity, man. We said it from the jump that even if you're not in the game, if you're on the bench, everybody's just clapping. We need energy from people on the court, off the court, coaches, and we all played a part in this win, really.
And, you know, Creighton, we played them a couple weeks ago, so we knew what types of offenses they run, what types of defense they run. We knew where we could get our mismatches, and, you know, we really just executed really well in the whole second half.
And in terms of how drastic the first half and the second half were, do you guys ever remember a game like this that you were a part of where nothing seemed to go right in the first half and everything seemed to go right in the second half?
This has got to be the first one I've been a part of. I feel like maybe I'd been on the other side, you know, but no, this is like for sure the biggest comeback in my career.
Same.
Rick.
Jack, did it feel like it was kind of opposite of last game from what worked game plan wise? Because it seemed like last game you tried to stretch them out early in the first half. That didn't work. So in the second half, you were ducking them in and trying to occupy Kalkbrenner, the shot blocker. And this game, it seemed like the second half, you were able to stretch them out in the second half, and it worked.
Yeah, that's something we worked on, you know, all week in practice. You know, inverting me and Zach playing 4 and 5, you know, inside out. Whoever had the smaller guy on them was probably going to be the one who was posting up, and we were able to draw Kalkbrenner out, and he's a really good shot blocker. So I think that helped, you know, with our drives and spacing and everything.
Time for one more question. Got one, Rick?
No, sorry, Tom. I don't know why that's still up there. I can't take it down.
All right. Thanks guys.
Thank you.